Growth and Involvement Consulting channel. I'm flying solo today. Debbie is recovering, and I am here with the wonderful Katie Bell, who's one of our amazing clients. For those of you who don't know us, we run an international personal and professional development company. And today we are interviewing Katie on all the amazing work that she does with her clients. So Katie is an intuitive energy healer, and she specializes in helping people get unstuck so they can get on with their life. So if that's you and you're feeling stuck and you want to get unstuck, you want to tune in and listen to what she has to say here this morning. So Katie, I'll let you introduce yourself and a bit more depth to start with, and then we have a few questions for you.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here. My name is Katie Bell. I have been intuitive energy healer for a decade now. And I got into this field because it was a necessary thing for my health and well-being. I actually was in a really bad car accident over a decade ago and sustained a terrible concussion. And I was naive and thought I was going to be like a hockey player and be back good to go in a week or two like they are. And I learned the hard way that is not what happens. And it took well over a year for me to actually recover from this concussion. And during that time, I went through everyone's protocols, different physios, different neurologists, specialists in concussions, all of that. I went through everyone's protocols, and by the end of it, they say I was good. And then all of a sudden something happened and all the symptoms would rush back. So sensitivity to light and noise and feeling dizzy and headaches and all the disturbances you get with concussions. And it wasn't until I started addressing my emotions that I was feeling on the day of my accident that everything was released and all my symptoms went away forever. So that's when I learned how important emotions were, and I needed to learn more about how to deal with them. And I found one of the most kind and gentle ways is through actually energy work. So that's how I got into the business. And from there, I just dove in and learned as much as I possibly could.
So powerful, Katie, and the emotions are so powerful. And just because we all have emotions doesn't mean that everybody understands them and how to navigate them. And like you said, all the things that can happen when they're not handled well. So it's incredible. And you help a lot of people with this. And for anyone watching and wondering, like, who exactly do you help? I know you help a lot of people, but if you were to kind of say, which group of people do you specialize in working with?
Yeah, so I work with all sorts of people, but the people I specialize in is mostly women. There are lots of men that come in, but it's mostly women in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, and they've checked all the boxes in life, and yet they're not happy. They're stressed, they're overwhelmed. Life is not what they were promised when they were growing up and when they were younger or in their 20s. And we were told that if you go get your degree, you go get that job, you get married, you have kids, whatever that fantasy was that was set out for you, they did it and it doesn't work for them. There's a lot of anger and resentment, there's grief, there's this idea of loneliness that's in their life, like they're feeling very disconnected. And those are the people that come and seek me out. And I get it, I'm in that demographic. We were never taught how to deal with our emotions. We were taught a lot of valuable skills, but emotional regulation was not one of them, unfortunately.
Yeah, and it's usually because a lot of people don't know. So no wonder nobody knows, and we're just wandering around being a human with all of the emotions. So powerful, and you can help so many people. And I'd like you to explain a little bit about how you work with your clients. I know you've developed something very special and very powerful, and I'd like you to explain kind of how you work with them, how it works, and what people can expect.
Yeah, so over the course of the last decade, I have done a lot of work with individual sessions that come to see me for an hour or different workshops and classes. And while I love them all, there was a couple of missing components to it that needed to be addressed. So the first one is we need to make sure that you feel safe even to begin the healing process. And that's where a lot of people, I don't like using the word fail in their healing journey. They try new programs, they try new resources, they read books, and it's not working for them. You get frustrated and you quit because that part of feeling safe to even begin isn't there. And so every single day when you are working with me, that's what we deal with first. The next component that I learned that was missing in most programs and healing experiences is that there's no one in your corner for when life actually happens. So you can come and see me for sessions, but what's happening between those sessions? you're kind of left on your own. And that's when we start spiraling and we start getting in our head and we get worried and the fear takes over, the anger takes over, and we start doing things that we aren't proud of and we sabotage ourselves. So those two missing components is the reason I created a program called the Emotion Detox. Now, the Emotion Detox is a beautiful, gentle program that literally anyone can do. You don't need to know anything about the energy healing world. So you don't need to know about chakras or any of that kind of thing. It could be your first experience in a wellness program and you can still do it. So it's a 5-week program and it includes daily videos. And these videos, it only takes between 20 and 30 minutes a day. So you can find that time. And a lot of people that I work with do those videos right before bed, and it really helps with their sleep, which is important because a lot of us are not getting good sleep. So it's only about 20 to 30 minutes, and it includes activating and releasing safe space within your body first and foremost. And then we go into more of like an energetic component with sound healing. And because your body is feeling safe and relaxed through those exercises, you're able to release so much more in that energy component. And then there's a journaling part because we got to release what's in our mind. And through that part, you are going to get so much awareness about what is actually happening underneath the surface because you've already created the safety, you've already jumped into your energetic body. And so now these things can start coming out. You can start creating awareness. And awareness is the first component of choosing something different. That's when you can create different action. So during those 5 weeks, you're actually going to be in a private container with me where you can come in every single day, ask me questions, tell me your awarenesses. The more you share, the deeper your experience is going to be because I can be there helping you. I have a decade of experience dealing with emotions and facilitating energy. And so maybe sometimes it's just asking a question. Maybe it's some sort of clarity piece. Maybe we need to do a miniature body talk session and address something more specifically. But I'm going to be there every single day during your journey. You never feel alone. You never feel like you have no one to talk to about your experiences. When you're thinking, does this even make sense? Like, what is this? I'm going to be there helping you through it. So that is what the Emotion Detox is. It's a 5-week program, and it's designed to meet you where you are and to release those things that are keeping you stuck, like anger, fear, feeling intense sadness or grief or worry and things like that that are sneaking into your day and ruining it, to be quite honest.
So powerful, Katie. And really what I'm seeing is you've created so much, it's so thorough. There's all these components, and if you put them together because of your experience and what's going to work for people, and people really do need support. Everybody's there by themselves, navigating their life. They have high hopes to change, but they need a process to do it. And then the support and accountability to help them actually move through that. That process sounds very thorough.
It's kind of like there's so many amazing podcasts in the world, so many amazing podcasts with so much good information, but the action piece is missing. Mm-hmm. Or the support piece is missing. Like if you actually implemented things that you listened to in podcasts and had someone there walking you through it, you'd be successful, but we don't have that. So that's really what the program is for.
Yes, for the application, that's it. It's going to be the implementation because, as you said, we don't want to just be gathering more knowledge. There's loads of knowledge out there, YouTube, podcasts, everything. But this is different because it's actionable and people actually change. And I know that you see people get a lot of benefits. You mentioned sleep, but I'd love for you to kind of talk through what kind of benefits you've seen from your clients in terms of what they receive from this process.
Yeah, there's a few different areas we can go into, and I'm going to talk about grief first. I have a client who has very intense grief, and through this process, she's able to actually go back to 10, 15 years ago and address that grief that she's been hiding and the relief that she's gotten, just being able to let it all go and finally feel more freedom and not feel like a hostage in her own body and controlled and trapped and having all these thoughts swirling around her head. Like she's finally just been able to let it go and now start choosing for herself. And I'm seeing her thrive in her businesses that she's creating. All of a sudden, it's just go time. And she's talking to more people. She's willing to put herself out there more. She's just opened up herself to a whole new reality where before it didn't feel safe to do that because she was so bogged down with this heavy weight of grief that she was hiding. Other benefits include I'm a mom of 2 boys. And so I also attract a lot of people that have children. And you wake up in the morning, both kids have a blowout Your husband woke up late, the coffee's not made, and you can feel these stressors swirling where your natural place to go was probably snapping, losing it, and everyone's day is now ruined. All of a sudden, you're able just to see things one at a time and just actually take care of the messes that are happening in your life and not let it ruin your whole day. It was just a component of it. And you're able to see it clearly and move through it. So how much better would your day be if you didn't cry over spilt milk?
Yeah, incredible. And again, a lot of people don't have the tools or the awareness or the how to navigate that, and the training, which is what your program can help them with.
Mhm.
And you say, Katie, a lot of adults going around have a lot of emotions that are suppressed.
Yes. Yes. It's so common. And especially if you look at where our world was, say 50, 70 years ago, we didn't have these tools. We certainly didn't have these conversations. It was taught to keep it private, suck it up and keep going. I mean, the only time anyone ever talked about anything is if you were Catholic in a confessional booth. Like, that's not where the real healing was happening, right? So we don't have these tools. And this program actually spurred from one of those moments. So a lot of people in my world know about this story. My dad had dementia. He passed away a couple years ago. And the interesting part was I had to take him to the hospital. We couldn't look after anymore. And so when I took him to the hospital, they did all these tests on him. And when I spoke to the geriatric specialist afterwards, he took me aside and he didn't really know how to have this conversation because he's used to people wanting answers and why. And he didn't have that. He told me that my dad was literally the healthiest 69-year-old man he had ever seen on a physical level. There was no reason for him to develop dementia. He was actually healthier than most 40-year-olds. And he was shocked. He's like, how can a 69-year-old man be healthier than most 40-year-olds and yet still have a rotting, decaying brain? Like, it didn't make sense to him. And because I'm the person I am and super curious, and I was like, I have nothing to lose. I'm 8 months pregnant with my second. Things are stressful. I'm just going to go for it and ask. And I was like, what's your opinion on childhood trauma and the effects of your brain and dementia? And he said, oh, like, what happened? And I was like, well, his father was an abusive alcoholic until he was around the age 13, 14, when he finally sobered up. And there was lots of terrible things that happened, but no one in his family, none of his siblings, no one ever spoke a word about it, ever. And it wasn't until he had gotten triggered by something on TV that he turned to me a year before he went to the hospital and he said, I can never be like my dad. And I looked at him like, what are you talking about? And that's when he finally told me what happened when he was a child. And all of his siblings he has two brothers that are passed away. He has a baby sister that also has dementia. He has another sister who has neurological disorder. And now it finally made sense. And I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, that's so interesting. He's like, yeah, we know that from a medical perspective. We can't talk about it because there's no way to measure emotions. You can't measure it, so we can't say anything. But that's exactly why your dad developed dementia, was because he never processed these emotions from when he was a child. And it got me thinking, my dad's whole dream in life was to be a grandpa. That was his whole dream. And when he passed away, he left behind two baby grandboys, a toddler grandboy, and a preschool granddaughter. And so he never got to experience that. So my question for adults all the time is, what do you want the last 20 years of your life to look like? Do you want to be traveling? Do you want to be at the lake? Do you want to be playing with your grandkids? Do you want to be active? You work so hard your entire life to enjoy retirement. Do you want to be in a hospital or long-term care? Like, what do you want it to look like? Or do you want to live a vibrant life in your home that you've created for the last 50 years?
Yeah, so powerful. And this is all more reason to really detox those emotions. They say emotion is energy in motion. When it's suppressed, like, it has to have an effect on your system. So, and like you said, people just didn't have tools like that. Everyone was trained to not talk about anything that was complicated, not say anything, and just kind of get on with life. And now it's 2025, and we want to sort of break those old paradigms and realize it's okay to talk about it, and to find the solution and the process to heal, to detox the emotions, so that, like you said at the beginning, you can get unstuck and get on with the rest of your life and enjoy your day. A lot of people's emotions affect their day to day and their well-being.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's literal studies done about how stress changes the shape of your cells. So if you want a healthy, vibrant body, we have to deal with the emotions and stress. It's a non-negotiable.
Exactly. Katie, I know there's going to be so many people watching here that are very curious, and I know a lot of people watching are going to identify with the fact that they very well might have suppressed emotions and are going to want to speak to you about how you can help them release that. So what is the best way? We're going to tag you in this video, but what's the best way for them to get in contact with you?
Yeah, there's two options. You can find me on social media, either Facebook or Instagram. My handle is at Balanced Living HC, or you can email me balancedlivinghc@gmail.com. Those would be the best ways to reach out to me. Yeah, and I'm fairly quick to respond. So
yeah, and we say don't be shy. Life's too short to be shy. If you've got a question for Katie, 10 years specializing in emotions, ask her the question. Don't sit on the question. So we'll put all the contact details in the comments below this video after it's posted, and reach out, get your answers. And if you're watching this video as well, you're watching it for a reason. So any parting thoughts for people, Katie, watching this video?
yeah, I'm just so excited for you to get inspired and to start this journey, because your life is worth it and you deserve it, and you deserve to wake up every single morning happy and be happy by the time you go to bed. Like, you get this one life and you deserve to love it fully.
Beautiful, beautiful, Katie, and so powerful as well, making the best out of it by the right systems and the right tools to help. So reach out to Katie. You know where she is now. And Katie, it's a pleasure having you on here, and we will be talking to you very soon.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye for now. Bye.